Welcome to the 123. I'm Frank, and today we've got lots and lots to cover. Not for a very long time. This is our 30-minute live episode that is recorded on YouTube, and you can find out all about that and give it a watch. Try and let people know about this so that they know that we are on every Monday right before Raw. And now it's going to be about 30 minutes. So you'll be able to go watch this, get some whatever it is you do to prepare for Raw. I don't know, maybe a colonic. Hard to say. Raw is so rough. I don't even know. I tried to get a beautiful background, and that's why we arranged a toaster oven and some rays, which we'll get into a little bit later. But today, we're always like to start with the superstar of the week. And I'm going to kind of combine them today, and I'm going to talk about someone who just passed. And that, of course, is New Jack. And he passed this weekend, unfortunately, and he passed away from a heart attack. I'm going to try and do him as much justice as I can. And I don't know if we did cover New Jack before, then I'm sorry, but I think we're going to always do this whenever a wrestler is passed, especially one that doesn't have as much notoriety. That as far as has never been on a WWE program, isn't considered mainstream, but is definitely someone that people know about. His name was Jerome Young, and he was born January 3rd, 1963, and he, of course, passed May 14th, 2021. He was an American professional wrestler, and he's best known for his time in ECW, or Extreme Championship Wrestling, where he became notorious for his willingness to take dangerous bumps and stiff hardcore wrestling style, often taking high risks and 4 times shooting on opponents, including the 1996 mass transit incident. He is also known for being the only wrestler to have had his entrance music, Natural Born Killers, by Ice Cube and Dr. Dre, played throughout his matches in ECW. After ECW folded in 2001, Young spent the rest of his career wrestling on the independent circuit before his death in May of 2021. Jerome Young was born on January 3rd in Greensboro, North Carolina in 1968. He was 5 years old. When he was 5 years old, he and his siblings witnessed his father stab his mother multiple times after he found out that she had been cheating on him with another man. 5 months later, he shot her in the leg when she tried to leave and take Young with her. His father died of a heart attack later in the year. He was the United States Wrestling Association. Young trained under Ray Candy and debuted in 1992 in the Memphis, Tennessee-based United States Wrestling Association, where he adopted the ring name New Jack. Inspired by the 1991 New Jack City, in June 1993, he won his first championship, the USWA World Tag Team Championship, and his partner Homeboy, defeating Simply Divine and holding the title for 2 weeks before losing to CW Bergstrom and Melvin Penrod. He remained with the company unit until the end of the summer. He was in North Georgia Wrestling Alliance, 93 to 94. After leaving Memphis, New Jack moved to Atlanta and wrestled for North Georgia Wrestling Alliance and won their heavyweight championship. In early 94, he paired up with former WCW enhancement talent Mustafa Saeed and formed the Gangstas, winning the NGWA Tag Team Championship of July 94, but quickly vacated them as they left the territory. Smoky Mountain. New Jack earned his name working for Jim Cornette in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. He formed a wrestling crew called the Gangsters. He toured the South and was normally squared off against Southern babyface tag team, the Rock and Roll Express. New Jack's partner was Mustafa Saeed. Extreme Championship Wrestling, the Gangstas, 95 to 97. In June of 95, the Gangstas joined the Philadelphia-based Extreme Championship Wrestling promotion, debuting the promotion as a villainous team by attacking Public Enemy, Rocco Rock, and Johnny Grunge at barbed wire hoodies and choke slams. On June 17, 1995, Gangstas made their ECW in-ring debut at Hardcore Heaven by competing against Public Enemy in a losing effort. The two teams engaged in a lengthy rivalry and traded wins against each other throughout the year, with the feud ending in a street fight at House Party, which Public Enemy won. Public Enemy departed ECW after the event, thus ending the rivalry. At CyberSlam, Gangsters were scheduled to compete in a match against Headhunters, but Jack was imprisoned in Atlanta and Mustafa was attacked by Headhunters. Jack returned to ECW on March 8th at Big Ass Extreme Bash, rescue Mustafa from an insult by the Headhunters, resulting in Gangsters turning into fan favorites. Gangsters began pursuing the ECW World Tag Team Championship and entered in rivalry with the tag team champions, the Eliminators, John Cronus and Perry Saturn, and received several title shots against Eliminators, but came up short at Fight the Power. Samoan Gangsters Party, LA Smooth, and Sammy Silk made their ECW debut by attacking Gangsters. Samoan Gangster Party cost Gangsters another title shot against Eliminators at Hardcore Heaven. Gangsters then faced Samoan Gangsters Party in a match in Heatwave, which ended in a brawl between both teams. Gangsters feud with Eliminators, Samoan Gangsters, and the Bruise Brothers, led by a four-way dance between the four teams at the Doctor's Inn, which Gangsters won to capture their first World Tag Team Championship. Gangsters successfully defended the title against... Sorry, I lost my place there. Gangsters successfully defended the title against teams such as Samoa Gangster Party, the Eliminators, and Rob Van Dam and Sabu throughout the year. New Jack was involved in the mass transit incident on November 23, 1996 in Revere, Massachusetts. The Gangsters were scheduled to face Devon Dudley and Axel Rotten. Axel missed the show for reasons never made public. In the 2005 documentary Forever Hardcore, New Jack said he thinks something happened with Axel's grandmother, which forced Axel to not make it. Rotten was replaced with mass transit Eric Koulis, an untrained 17-year-old who convinced Booker Paul Heyman that he was 21 and had been trained by the veteran Killer Kowalski. Koulis requested that New Jack blade him during the match, but the incision was made incorrectly, causing excessive bleeding. Koulis was hospitalized as a result, eventually receiving 50 stitches. New Jack was charged with aggravated assault stemming from the incident, but was acquitted. Koulis subsequently sued New Jack and ECW for damages in July of 98, but lost the case. Koulis died on May 12, 2002 at the age of 22 due to complications from gastric bypass surgery. Later, Koulis' parents tried to sue New Jack because they believed their son's death was caused due to depression and major eating disorder after what New Jack did to him. Gangsters lost the World Title Championship back to Eliminators on January 4th, 1997, episode of Hardcore TV, ending their reign of 139 days. Gangster feuded with the Eliminators and the Dudley Boys over the title for the next several months. At Heatwave, Gangsters defeated Dudley Boys in a steel cage match to capture their second World Tag Team Championship. Mustafa Saeed left ECW after the title win, leading the dissolution of the Gangsters the following month in the Hardcore Heaven. Dudley Boys returned the championship and foretold Saeed's departure. And he fought from then, and then he was in 2000 one competition. He was at XPW and the independent circuit from 2001 to 2012. And then it looks like his last known was TNA, 2003, 2004, 2010. It looks like he was used as an enhancement talent from what I could tell. Let's see. On April 2nd, 2003, TNA, New Jack, Perry Saturn, and the Sandman defeated Chris Daniels and the Harris Brothers. On the April 9th, NWA TNA, New Jack and Sandman lost a three-way match to the Harris Brothers on April 14th. NWA TNA and New Jack and the Sandman lost to Brian Lee and Slash. He then teamed with Shark Boy during the Hard 10 tournament, defeating Mike Sanders before losing in the finals to the Sandman on August 8, 2010. New Jack appeared at TNA's ECW reunion show, Hardcore Justice, where he and Mustafa assaulted Team 3D and Joel Gettner after a match. And then after that, he pretty much worked for a lot of independents. He was in the video game ECW Anarchy Rules. He appeared in the TV series Early Edition as a biker. And but you know, if you follow New Jack's career, then I'm sure that you're kind of aware of some of the things that have happened with him. I don't want to use New Jack as something to get people into I don't know. I don't want to get him. I don't want to use him as a reason to speak out against hardcore wrestling, because I know he was hardcore and I get that. But I did want to discuss something today, and because it was a concern. On Dark Side of the Ring, there was a on Dark Side of the Ring, there was a there was coverage. What? Huh. I don't know if things have been changed apparently on here. It's just frustrating because I need to. All right. Well, maybe we'll do that today then. All right. Anyway, there's some issue on the Dark Side of the Ring. I'm gonna have to look this up just because I can't remember names sometimes, and I feel bad about that. I'm trying to get a better hold on some of that information. I'm trying to share or kind of talk about some things that we that are issues instead of just results. And we are going to talk about the results on the pay-per-view for sure. But I did want to talk about this as a small issue because it's something that it does kind of strike me, and it is a concern that I have. There's actually a couple different things. And really what it ends up being is what I'm talking about is why we lose these wrestlers so early, or you have wrestlers that can no longer compete, or they are harmed, or they're not protected. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And I also have to put some of that now on the door of AEW. Now, I understand that they didn't start the policy of not having great health protections for their wrestlers, but I will say, and I don't know, maybe they do. And if you're in AEW and you can respond to this, feel free to do so. And I understand that a lot of people will be like, well, WWE doesn't do this and that. But the thing is, when AEW came out in Las Vegas, when they said that they were going to be a new wrestling company that cared about their wrestlers, that is what I heard. And that is what I had expected. And yet it doesn't seem like that is being delivered on. And so that's a concern that I have. But I was going to talk about recently on Dark Side of the Ring, there was, that looks like that's Brian Pillman, I'm guessing. But there's a big issue with of Nick Gage. And Nick Gage he was basically an underground wrestler, not a professional wrestler, and somebody who just did death matches. And it just seems to me that when you have somebody like Jon Moxley, who's now a wrestler who is supposed to be mainstream, that maybe the idea of him fighting Nick Gage is kind of a bad idea. Maybe some of these death matches that we're having in AEW on TNT on a Wednesday at 8 p.m. prime time are a bad idea. I know people like to see people do jumps at 100 miles an hour that, 3-450 splashes in a row, or suicidos off the apron onto other people. And maybe that's not necessarily, maybe it'd be a good idea to have 2 or 3 of those and not one match with all of them all the time. It's just a concern like that I have. And people can tell me to go myself. I mean, I guess if that's what it is, but I actually do have a concern for wrestlers. I do wonder, as Jim Cornette talks about, is that you have the law of exponential or diminishing returns, where people just keep expecting more and more. And you just have to keep getting higher and higher. And is that safe for these people? Are you actually concerned for these people? Do these people mean anything to you? I mean, yeah, they put on a good show, but are you concerned about them? Because I am. That's why I'm talking about this, because there's a huge rate of wrestlers that are no longer with us. And like you could see the shirt right here, with Randy on it, with Randy Savage, who we just lost in a car accident. And yeah, I mean, granted, that wasn't that, or you have Eddie Guerrero, who had, cleaned himself up, but then still ended up passing away from a heart attack because his body had just undergone so much. You look at victims in this business, and it's just like, it just feels like something needs to be done. And it seems like pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing to the point that we get a more and more gratifying return doesn't seem like the best idea. I'm not sure if bleeding is the best idea. I mean, look at the situation with Chris Jericho, where MJF pushed Chris Jericho off onto the ground, and people were mad that a crash pad was used. Because what? You'd rather Chris Jericho be thrown into the cement? I mean, I agree that, like, if you can't do it, don't do it. It makes sense. But at the same time, I mean, we need to do something. Something has to be done. And I don't have the answer for it, but I will say that it seems to me that all of these wrestling companies have an obligation to make sure that their wrestlers are safe. And that means doing safe things and having health coverage. And that was the thing, that was the bill of goods that I felt like AEW had sold to us and that I felt was going to be something that would happen. And it doesn't look like that's the case. I'm going to take a little minute, not too big of a minute, and tell you guys how you can help us out. If you go on to TeePublic/stores/Gaming Fix, FIXX, because that's where we're going to sell. We sell all of our t-shirts, even the 1, 2, 3 that will be coming out eventually. But right now, we have curated geek items, and everything you buy helps us out, and we appreciate it. But yeah, I wanted to share that. I wanted to put that out, and so now that I put that out there, let's talk about what happened on WWE Backlash. Lots of good matches, actually. We had Charlotte versus Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley's always been a favorite of mine since I saw her first debut against Toni Storm, and looked and was like, not knowing who Toni Storm was pretty shocked that they weren't automatically pushing Rhea Ripley, because she is a amazing athlete and just a very good-looking woman who just looks like the total package. And I was pretty impressed with her. This time we saw her do well. There were some times when Charlotte took some time out of the match. Some people think that might end up being some hokey goodness with Alexa Bliss. So we'll see tonight if that happens in 30 minutes. Or actually now, 35 minutes, because we're almost where we are. Then, of course, we had a match between... before starting off the show, we had Sheamus versus Ricochet. And it's always nice to see two Irishmen fighting. I've got to give credit. That's Simon's joke, a Ricochet, which I thought's kind of funny, but... of course, I have a lot of respect for Ricochet. Like, some of his moves are amazing. One move that he did during that match, which was great, was he pulled himself onto the completely up onto the third rope, and then from there he did a perfect perfect flip. I'm not sure what that would have been, of 360, probably a 360. Really high up in the air, landed really nice on Sheamus, looked really good. The next one he didn't connect, and he lost to a knee to the face. It was pretty good. I would have liked to... I wonder if that one match with Sheamus and Matt Riddle was really, really strong and really good, and we didn't get to see something like that. I'd like to see that with Sheamus and Ricochet. I think that'd be pretty cool if you could see something where they were just both working really, really, hard punches. I don't know if Ricochet can work like that, but it'd be really amazing, because he can do the spins and then just the brutality at the same time would just be amazing. What's going on here? I see what I did wrong. I'm looking up our newest sponsor because I can't find the information and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And it's weird. Oh, here we are. Put this in. Maybe this will work. So see this, because I think I put the wrong one in. Because there's a difference. I wanted to tell everybody about this because this is our new sponsor, and we're probably going to really have this pretty much exclusive to the 123. And I wanted to get in on this. Oh, my bad. Anyway, so we saw that, and then after the three-way, we had a match between this is weird because this is where I fell asleep. Oh yes, this was the Miz and versus, and we are going to get into this. This is so bad. The Miz versus Damian Priest, and that was supposed to be a lumberjack match, but we ended up getting zombies, and it was dumb. It was really dumb. I don't know if that's why I passed out through it or not, but it was very dumb, and it was not a okay. So yeah, that was really good, or that was really dumb and terrible, and probably the worst thing that happened throughout the entire night, or not, well, through the entire night and maybe the entire year. So we'll see if that gets any worse. That could be a thing. And then we had wow, it's not sending me my thing. Oh, there we are. Okay, so yeah, that was that, and then we had Bayley versus Bianca Belair, which was really cool. Very good match. I felt like it went a little long, but it was pretty cool. And at the end, we had a retention. I don't know what I was expecting. I guess there's going to be an issue of maybe her using her hair in the finish. So we'll see if that actually comes up. And I'm going to put I'm going to tell you guys how you can get and support our sponsor, which is Raze Energy Drink. And I'm going to see if I can put it in as a banner here. And I'm going to put this out right now. So here we go. So if you go onto there right now and you go in and you click that right there, then you can get yourself some of this lovely energy drink, like the stuff right behind me. And I'm going to get a little bit closer. I don't know if this will reach. I think it will. I'm going to show you. Today we'll show you the gummy bear, this gummy or sour gummy worms. And this is a, wow, it reads so gray, it's crazy. So this right here is actually green, believe it or not, which is really weird. If I get closer, does it change back to normal color? Wow, I did not know that our colors were that weird. Anyway, this is a nice lime green color, and this is Raze. and it's a zero sugar energy drink. And if you help us out, then we get some percentages, and we can put this into the old bank, and we can do some production for you. Then after that, we had after that match, we had the match, which was Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman, which was really good. They were fighting all over the place. It was a really fun match. Really enjoyed it. I would totally recommend taking a look at it. It was fun. It reminded me of when Rusev booked when Paul Heyman booked the Rusev versus Lashley match, and they were just beating the hell out of each other. Really, really recommend it. And then, of course, the match, the main event was Roman Reigns versus Cesaro, and that was really good. Roman Reigns was working Cesaro's arm all through the match, and that was really good. But here's what I have a question of with these zombies, and at the end, these stupid zombies ate the Miz. So I don't know how they're going to get out of that, but you're going to find out in 30 minutes after watching this show, hopefully. And we'll see what happens when the Miz, if he resurrects, or if they're going to, maybe he's going to come out as a zombie. I don't know what they're going to do. But that's the show. And really, once again, rest in peace, New Jack. And we got to do something to keep our brothers alive. Have a great day, everybody. And this was the 1, 2, 3. And since I don't do the thing, I'm just gonna do the thing. 1, 2, 3. Ding, 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 ding. Haven't done that in a minute. Later.